You cast your votes, now the numbers are coming in, and not just for president. We have the latest from state, county, and local contests on this election night 2020.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Election results are rolling in tonight, and we have the numbers from state, county, and city contests all across the four states. This is KOAM News at 10. We start in Kansas with the U.S. Senate race for outgoing Senator Pat Roberts' seat. Roberts is retired. This has been back and forth a bit tonight, but Roger Marshall, the Republican, now is opening up a fairly comfortable lead over Bollier, the Democrat. Southeast Kansas native Jake LaTurner is looking for a ticket to Washington tonight as he faces off with Michelle De La Isla, and LaTurner at this point is out in front. Those numbers are being closely watched in Galena tonight as candidate Jake LaTurner hosts a watch party there. Caitlin Shive is also there, and she joins us live.
You're up. You're up right now.
So we are still here at the Jake LaTurner watch party here in Galena. The crowd is still in very high spirits as they're anxiously waiting for those results. Now we're going to show you the crowd here tonight. As you can see, it's getting bigger and bigger, just waiting and waiting for those results. Now Jake LaTurner is a hometown guy here in Galena, and he's just excited to be with friends and family and is looking forward to potentially grabbing that Kansas 2nd Congressional District seat.
It's really hard. We've been in this a long time. I have the best team in Kansas politics, but tomorrow the sun's going to rise no matter what the returns are. We feel optimistic. We think we're going to win, but at the end of the day, this is in God's hands, and we're going to look for the results tonight, and again, we feel optimistic about it.
Behind me, the podium is awaiting for LaTurner to address his supporters. He's going to be taking the stage once those final results are in. Reporting live in Galena, Caitlin Shive, KOAM News.
Boy, an exciting, tense night, not only at that watch party, but at watch parties and at homes all across the four states and the nation. Caitlin, thanks. In Missouri, former state auditor Nicole Galloway is challenging incumbent Governor Mike Parson, but to no avail. The Associated Press has called this race for the incumbent Governor Parson. He is the Republican. He will remain governor. Jasper County Republicans are holding a watch party in Joplin tonight. KOAM's Chris Warner is there and joins us live. Chris, what is the mood out there?
Well, the mood out here, they've been pretty excited through the night, and as the numbers continue to roll in, that excitement is building. I'm joined right now by Robert Stokes with Republican headquarters. Robert, so far with the numbers coming in, how are you feeling this evening?
Well, we're very excited. We've won the governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, all the statewide races we've won. The president's numbers are looking really good so far, so we're excited about that. And so far, the only thing we're concerned about right now is Amendment 3, and we'll see how that turns out.
All right, Robert, thank you so much. Again, there's been around 50 to 75 people in and out of this building this evening. The mood is still very, very excited out here, and people are going to continue to watch those numbers, and of course, we'll continue to bring those numbers. Dow, for now, back to you.
All right, Chris Warner, thanks. Mentioned those statewide races. Let's get to a couple of them. Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe facing a challenge from Democrat Alyssa candidate, but Kehoe appears to have this one well in hand. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt is seeking re-election and looks like he's going to get it well out in front over the Democrat Rich Finneman. Congressman Billy Long, he's represented Missouri's 7th district since 2010, and it looks like he will continue to do so. He has 91,000 plus to only 22,000 plus for the Democrat. Vicki Hartzler looks to retain her seat in the House, representing Missouri's 4th district. Hartzler also has a comfortable lead at this point, 135,000, more than doubling her nearest opponent. Voters in Missouri tonight also deciding a couple of constitutional amendments. As you heard, Amendment 1 would impose 2-term limits on the state's lieutenant governor, attorney general, auditor, and secretary of state. Voters at this point say no to that, but it's still a fairly narrow margin. Amendment 3 would change a redistricting process that voters approved back in 2018. Voters tonight saying yes, they want to make that change. Oklahoma U.S. Senate race. Jim Inhofe is the incumbent, the Republican in that traditionally red state, and as you see, he has a comfortable lead over the Democrat. Abby Broyles appears to be heading toward re-election. U.S. congressional member Marquayne Mullen faces a challenge tonight from the Democrat Lanier, but Mullen, again, way out in front and appears to have that one in the bag. Oklahoma voters had a state question that would prohibit courts from considering prior felony history during sentencing. The numbers on this one, they're saying yes by a pretty comfortable margin. That is apparently what they want. We're going to have a lot more election results coming up in a bit. First, though, we check in with Nick Kelly for the weather.
Had a pretty quiet and nice election day. Weather-wise, Dow, 48 degrees, a cool start this morning, but we catapulted back into the mid-70s this afternoon, keeping in mind we should be in the mid-60s on this November 3rd. At least that's what the norms would have us suggesting. We've seen mostly clear skies all evening long, but now we're starting to see cloud cover working from the west ahead of an upper-level wave coming out of southern Utah. Not enough moisture with this way to bring in rain chances, but it will bring us a cloudy Wednesday ahead of us. In the meantime, though, upper 50s to near 60 degrees. That's where we all sit at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. Quick look at the day ahead of us. Again, the cloud cover rolling in, keeping temperatures in the lower 50s overall, dropping bottoms out around 53. And then we're looking mild still tomorrow, despite mostly cloudy skies by the afternoon. Highs around 71. We'll see if we can get rain chances in here anytime soon, coming up a little later on, Dow.
Okay, those are the weather numbers. We have some numbers of another sort, more election coverage straight ahead. We have a number of sheriff's races on the ballots tonight, and we're starting in Crawford County, Kansas. The incumbent, Danny Smith, will remain sheriff after defeating the Republican challenger, Carlinger, by about 1,000 votes, 1,000 votes plus. Bill Martin, the Republican incumbent from Bourbon County, the sheriff there, tonight wins his race against the Democrat, Mike Fegans. In the race for Neosho County, Kansas sheriff, Greg Taylor, he won tonight over his Democratic challenger, Kelly Stanley. Jeremy Floyd is the Republican sheriff in Ottawa County. David Dean apparently is the winner there. We understand that Floyd has conceded the race to David Dean on his Facebook page. Continuation of a sales tax for revenue of 0.5% to finance ambulance services and maintain county buildings. This was a Cherokee County question, and at this point, we don't have any numbers, but we will get those to you when we can, perhaps on our Facebook page or on our website. Another question, this was in Carl Junction. It requires a simple majority to pass concerning a 1/2 cent sales tax for employee salaries and facilities for police. Again, we're still waiting on numbers on this one. This is an issue out of Seneca, Missouri. $5.5 million to renovate the Performance Arts Center and construct track and softball, baseball, combined fields. It required more than a simple majority. It required 4/7, but it got it easily. As you can see, a wide margin voters say, yes, we like that idea. We are going to take another moment to catch our breath on this generally breathless night. Nick's weather is next.
We were quiet once again on this election day, and temperatures had no problem at all warming up once again, especially with some dry air still in place. And we just saw the same nice looking sky from indigo sky today like we've seen over the past few days. So no complaints, staying relatively calm and quiet to start November so far. And as far as temperatures go, again, with that dry air still in place, it was another day where we saw a cool start in the morning, then temperatures taking off throughout the course of the day. Just like yesterday, but we actually started in the mid-30s yesterday before we catapulted to about 67 degrees yesterday. This time around, we started in the upper 40s this morning, but still made a quick jump into the middle of the upper 70s this afternoon at Joplin Regional, all because of clear skies and that south wind throughout the day. The south wind's up there, but of course after sunset we will be cooling down some. And we did just that. 60 degrees in Joplin right now. Again, though, south wind at 13 means we're not going back into the cooler for tonight. We'll just mainly settle down in the lower 50s. In fact, some spots in the Joplin Metro already in the 50s, 57 in Pittsburgh, 54s for Commerce and Miami, while on the east side of the Metro, we're 61 in Diamond, 60 downtown Neosho. Outlying areas, we're already in the mid-50s in Iola, 57 in Parsons, Fort Scott, Nevada, 57 in Milnet, while we're trying to hold on to some areas near 60 across southwestern Missouri. Again, all these numbers jumped today because of a south wind at about 5 to 15, not including the gusts near 20. We got rid of the gusts for tonight for the most part, but that south breeze is still up there. As long as it's in place, again, we're only going to drop back into the lower 50s before we hit sunrise tomorrow morning. At first glimpse, it doesn't really look like there's a heck of a lot going on across much of the lower 48. Certainly at the surface, we're still seeing high pressure scoot off across the deep south. I do want to point out, though, this cold front not yet making landfall in the Pacific Northwest, but that will be our next cold front that'll work in here next week. That's not only cool us back down by the middle of next week, but also bring rain chances back into the fold. In the meantime, though, cloud cover building across central and western Kansas ahead of this upper level low, spinning across southern Utah. That will be passing to our north throughout the day tomorrow. Not a lot of moisture with this wave to work with, but it does have just enough to bring cloud cover back into the forecast as we go into the middle of the week. So partly cloudy skies for the rest of the night. We'll also take advantage of that to keep temperatures mainly in the lower 50s throughout the course of the night. 53 degrees by sunrise around Joplin, but despite mostly cloudy skies up top tomorrow, that south wind picks back up at 10 to 20 miles per hour, pushing us to 67 by noon. Afternoon highs near 71. In fact, everybody will be back a few upper 60s, but mainly lower 70s. That's despite mostly cloudy skies with this quick upper wave passing on by. Thankfully, it's not sticking around long. Once we go into Thursday, it jets off to the east. We'll go back to partly to mostly sunny skies as we continue to stay mild for Thursday. Keeping quiet to start the weekend out. Friday, Saturday, underneath the ridge, we'll stay mild, but here comes a pair of upper level lows ready to push that cold front in the Pacific Northwest our way. It could bring in a few showers Sunday, but I'm seeing better rain chances and even some thunderstorms by Monday and Tuesday. And you can see how the jet stream really wants to dig as we go into late Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. That will bring chillier air back into the fold. Before we see that change in weather on the way, staying quiet through Saturday. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with highs near 71. Morning time lows in the 50s pretty much, but staying mild with lower 70s all the way through Sunday now.
Mild sounds good to me. We'll
It
take
does.
it after a wild night of elections. We'll be right back. As the numbers roll in tonight across our nation, this massive vote count we're seeing is not just for the White House. It'll also determine whether Democrats or Republicans will control Congress. Deborah Alfarone is on Capitol Hill with more.
The balance of power in the U.S. Senate is at stake this election night. The Democrats need to flip 3 seats to retake the chamber if there's a Biden-Harris White House win. But if President Trump wins re-election, the Democrats will need 4. Current Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell held on to his seat in Kentucky.
I'm humbled and grateful that you've rehired me to keep fighting for your families.
So far, CBS News estimates the Senate races in the key states of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia are too close to call.
It is just energizing.
Maine's Susan Collins is in the fight of her political life against State House Speaker Democrat Sarah Gideon.
It's been an incredible privilege to talk to every Mainer.
Let's make it happen.
GOP incumbents in tough fights include Arizona's Martha McSally against astronaut Mark Kelly.
Well, I'm really excited about it. I hope you're excited about it.
And Colorado's Cory Gardner is up against former Democratic Governor John Hickenlooper. Here on the House side of the Capitol, all 435 seats are at stake. Republicans are hoping to flip the chamber back into GOP hands, but they'll need to turn 17 seats to do so.
I want you to watch Nancy Pelosi hand me that gavel.
We are confident.
Meanwhile, House Democrats want to add to their majority and build on their 2018 outcome when they gained 41 seats. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Some of those races are decided now. CBS will have an update on all of them in a bit. Now, during a press call today, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee chair said House Democrats have invested $10 million in litigation efforts to ensure that all votes are properly counted. A lot of businesses aren't taking any chances with possible unrest on the way. From New York to San Antonio to Denver, storefronts around the nation are boarding up doors and windows in anticipation of possible rioting and violence, regardless of who wins. In Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive has been closed to cars and pedestrians. Let's get a look at tonight's KOAM News Now Instapoll. We've been asking since 5, how confident are you that votes will be counted properly nationwide? 26%, just over a quarter, say very confident. 11% somewhat confident. The majority, 63%, say they are not confident. We're going to keep this poll open a bit longer, but you can participate right now on our website. We'd like to invite you to watch special Campaign 2020 local coverage on our new digital streaming services, KOAM News Now Plus. It's now on your digitally connected TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and on your phone. You can find all of these ways on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The digital special revisits results of the local KOAM News Now polls we've conducted concerning the election in recent months, and to look at some of the area election issues. We're going to have another look at some election results tonight after the break. We take time now to honor a local veteran, Abilene, Kansas native, 5-star Army general and former president of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower. We are proud to salute Dwight D. Eisenhower. He appropriately is tonight's 4-state hero. All right, before we wrap up, we're going to update a few key races from the 4 states, 4 in particular. First, the U.S. Senate race from Kansas. This one was closely watched across the nation. The Republican, Roger Marshall, wins that open seat. The Associated Press tonight calling the race for 2nd Congressional District in Kansas. Southeast Kansas native Jake LaTurner is on his way to D.C. He defeats the Democrat Michelle De La Isla. In the race for Missouri governor, the incumbent Mike Parson wins. Associated Press calling this one Mike Parson defeating Nicole Galloway. And we're going to look at amendment number 3 in Missouri. It did a number of things. Most notably, it had to do with redistricting and the voters saying yes to that. Checking back in with Nick Kelly.
We'll keep things chilly for tonight, Dal, but mostly cloudy skies. Despite that, we'll stay mild for tomorrow. Highs near 71. We'll continue to wait for rain chances until Sunday and early next week.
More election results coming up in a bit from CBS, also on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.